So Namibia is going through a whole frenzy around rainbow realities in our country, the identification of LGBTI people, and also the status of homosexuality, because they are all clumping us into one bucket. We're so different in reality. But it's evident that Namibians do not understand what the difference is under sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. So when people look at me, they think they see a boy because of my gender expression, the way I dress. And many of us have crossed boundaries around the gender norms and stereotypes that we're having. A man today is able to do dishes and iron his own clothes. That's the transitioning moment of challenging gender. And that's what I do. But my identity is very clear. My gender identity is very clear. I'm a woman and I have no body politics. Now that takes me to the next level of my sexual orientation. And the reason why I'm saying this is because it's important for us as Namibians to understand that there's a great difference. What you see is not what you get, but what you engage is what you will understand. So the fact that all Namibians right now in this country of ours are going through a frenzy because the movement of LGBTI have decided to, you know what is enshrined in the Constitution under the Bill of Rights, which in our Constitution is Chapter 3, and we all know if that human rights are inalienable, indivisible, are interrelated, and that nobody's rights are better than the other person's rights. But what we're experiencing right now in our country is selective human rights. I don't know how people can give me certain human rights in the country and choose what I'm not entitled to. Namibians must know that it's not illegal to be a homosexual. Namibians must know that the crime of sodomy and unnatural sexual offenses is a legislation that is right under the Constitution that actually violates Chapter 3 and the particular articles under that. So a lot of you guys out there are claiming that the sodomy law makes homosexuality illegal, which is not. I can scream on top of my roof and say, hey, I'm LindaBaumann and I am lesbian. That's, of course, my sexual identity, but my sexual orientation is that I'm homosexual. So now let's look at broadly the importance of navigating the space without you judging me, because I need you to tell me what is it that you don't like about me that makes me so abnormal. And many of you have told me out there that, no, you're going to teach our children to be homosexual. It's against the moral values of our country. It's against the gender realities that we expected it to be. But many of you out there don't even know the difference between sex and gender. My own parliamentarians are debating the concept of sex and gender. My passport talks about sex, which means it talks about my physiological body parts. And then my gender on my ID speaks about my how I'm supposed to behave and what is societally accepted. And we're confusing that. Gender is a social construct. It's not fixed like what my sex is. And I have no body politics. I love every part of me. So as a child in this country that seeks to just continue to contribute to the development of my country, it's time that we really have a serious conversation on why people don't like us. There's no one that can tell me why they don't like us, or me in person, because one, I'm not contagious. You can't rub off on me and become a homosexual. Your association to me will never make you a homosexual. Two, I'm not a pedophile. There's nothing wrong with me. That's what a lot of you think, that homosexuals are pedophiles, which is wrong. Pedophiles are wrong, and as a parent too, there's no way that I'm going to allow any person going around messing with children. I will protest with you to protect our children. And thirdly, we are ungodly, it's unchristian. My goodness, I come out of a very religious and faithful house. I pray every day, twice a day, morning and night. How does my faith and spiritual being look confused in that regard? We cannot continue like that. You're making our lives miserable because of your insecurities, your doubts of your level of understanding about who we are. You wanting to protest and do all that jazz that goes around is not going to make any major difference about who we are as people. We're here to stay. You can't deport us. You can't take away my citizenship and make me stateless. But right now we feel stateless in our own country because our state is not even protecting us. And that's dangerous. Because if the state doesn't protect us, the society and communities we live in will not protect us. And all these years we've been living with you in our neighborhoods, playing football and playing netball and being crazy, visiting, and still drinking from the same barrel. But when you're out there, your hatred is so big. When you're with us, your love is so, what double, characters or personality do you bring forth? It's really sad that we've come to this point while Namibia has had great history of development. And we can't continue to live in such a way where people are making it sound like we don't belong in this country. I have a family in this country. My parents are still Namibians, live in Namibia, kept me in Namibia. I'll never leave my country because of you not liking who I am. You need to sort yourself out. Have you ever seen a gay person continuously disrupting spaces like you are trying to disrupt people's lives? Come on, let's just get over this whole hate that we have towards LGBTI people, because there's no principle around it. I challenge every leader in this country to a national debate, and I'm willing to sit in that space and be able to understand what you're trying to say. Don't come and give me quotes of verses in the Bible. That very same Bible that you're talking about carries a lot of literature that talks about you as a man and your ill behavior, you as a woman in your ill behavior, just like it is talking about the status of homosexuality. Now you want to come and extract only the issues around homosexuality. Let's broadly contextualize that Bible, because you're literally just giving me verses without contextualizing the very article of that, the very context of that chapter that you are trying to quote. I'm not scared. And I'm refusing to be dictated about who and how my life is going to be. I'm Namibian. I'm proud. And I'm not confused about where I'm heading. And I will continuously develop this country of ours to the betterment of where we want to see the future generation grow into. So stop your hate. Get yourself involved in understanding who this particular community is that you're hating. And stop wasting your time and breath in your anti-homosexual groups. Your intended approach around trying to navigate a system politically to influence that your vote will be able to determine whether the parties are going to position themselves. That's wrong. That's not how we live in Namibia. That's not who we are as Namibians. Since independence, we've made sure to really have an inclusive government, a non-discriminatory environment, but also making sure that justice for all is served at all times, that nobody experiences injustice. It's not nice to be treated bad or different or to be pointed to. We're human. I'm your sister, your cousin, your aunt, and I'm your proud comrade citizen in Namibia. No doubt about who we are and what our intention is for the prosperity of our country. I live here because I love my country. I see no reason to go find home in another country. My ancestral blood strings are based and shaped within this country. You shape my reality too, because I listen, I hear you, and I understand what we as Namibians experience. But we now need to work towards building a collective unit that will greatly make Namibia a better country. Stop homophobia. Stop transphobia. Stop hate towards the LGBTI people. And talk to us to understand our side of the story, because we understand your side of the story too. And let's live in harmony.